I'm looking to buy a property in 2023. What can I be doing right now to get ready?
Well, I always say the first thing to do is start planning. So set up your team. So your team is going to be, your main team up front is going to be your real estate agent and your lender. Yep. So getting those two into place is always kind of like the best way to kind of do it.
So let me ask you a question on that.
Yeah.
How do you find a great agent?
How do you find a great agent? Well, I feel like a lot of people actually do find their agents through friends and referrals. I mean, I say all the time, like a lot of our business does come from that. A lot of people actually do find it on websites, so like Zillow and, social media.
All of the review sites.
And go on there and kind of see how people are talking about their agents. Luckily, we do pretty well with that. We get really great reviews on Google, and you dominate Yelp. Everyone loves reviewing you on Yelp.
I love my Yelpers.
So yeah, I feel like that's always a good way to find a strong agent.
For certain. So basically, referrals, asking around people. What if you moved here and you don't know anybody? You can go online.
Yep, go online.
Look at the review sites and those types of things.
Call us.
What do you think about interviewing real estate agents? Call us for certain.
I actually find that really great. I mean, I literally had a buyer consultation yesterday, and the lady got my contact information. Actually, that is another great way to find an agent. She went on her school alumni website on the Facebook page and literally asked around she was like, hey, I'm new to the Chicago area. The chapter is here. Does anybody have a real estate agent? And my client, who's under contract, referred me to her. Nice. And so she reached out, and it was really great. We had a buyer consultation, and she's like, I got all these names from all these different people. I'm interviewing agents. And so it was really, really great. I don't always find that people do that.
Sure. No, and I it's so funny. So many people ask us, obviously we work with a lot of referrals, right?
Yeah.
We're so fortunate to have raving fans out there, and we appreciate everyone that is a raving fan. But even still, buying or selling a home is a very intimate and personal process.
Totally.
And I tell every one of my clients when we're having initial discussions that, they need to be comfortable with me and how I work. It doesn't matter. The first thing I say to them is, it doesn't matter that your friend, your colleague, your whatever really enjoyed working with me. That got us to this point here. Moving forward, what matters is how you feel.
Yeah.
And so sometimes that takes talking to a few other people to kind of come back. I always say one of the best compliments I had a client ever give me, this is going to go way, way back. This was probably about 2004. A client said to me, said, Amanda.
You still remember that?
This thing is like a steel trap.
I was like, woof.
I remember he said to me, I could tell you the property address, the client, everything. He said to me at the end of it, he said, Amanda, when we first sat down and we talked and we met, we started working together, I really thought you were great. And even throughout the process, I really thought you were really, really good. But I'd never had an experience with an agent before. I didn't realize how good you were until we had all of the other interactions with agents throughout this process. And at that point, at the end of the process, I looked back and said, I had the best agent on my team. And like that philosophy in itself is that sometimes you have to go talk, sometimes you have to go kiss enough frogs to figure out who the prince is, so to say. But it was one of those things that I do encourage. I don't ever want somebody to feel badly if they're trying to find the right fit for them. And I even tell my clients up front, if for any reason you don't think I'm the right fit for you, you need to have the team that feels right.
Yeah. Start getting your team together, start putting it in place, find your agent, find your lender. I think those are the first good starts.
What do you think about the idea of like, hey, I want to start looking at listings right now? If somebody were to say to you, I want to buy in 2023, I'd like to start looking at listings right now.
Well, it depends on when your lease is up, because that's going to be a starting factor. Are you ready to go right now? Mm-hmm. And if you're not, then maybe we push it off. But again, that goes back to the plan. Are you looking for a needle in the haystack? Do we need a little bit more time? Are you looking for something that's readily available? And do you want to pair it up with your lease end? Or is there flexibility in your lease? I always talk to my clients about talk to your landlords, understand that no matter where in Chicago, you are able to sublease. The funny thing is, the Chicago leases all say you cannot sublease, but the landlord tenants right ordinance says that you can. So there are two contradicting pieces of paper that you literally are signing, but the Chicago landlord tenants right ordinance trumps
gonna
the actual
supersede
lease.
it.
And so just knowing that is, I think, one of the biggest things that most of our potential buyers always ask.
For certain. And on that whole idea of, buyers get anxious, they get excited, they say, hey, can we start seeing stuff? And I think you're so right. So much of it depends on the time of year, the plan, all of the different pieces. If somebody's looking to be in the first half of the year, then I think that's a much different conversation than who's looking in the second half of the year. And it's not that we don't have the time and energy and resources to do it. It's really that we don't want to miseducate people. We don't want to say, hey, here's what's available to you at this price point in market conditions that could be very different than when you're buying. So based on that, we do have some access to do, we can use some of our software programs, some of our apps. Zenlist is one that we use quite a bit to help start educating. So if clients want to kind of get a slow drip of seeing like, hey, what's out there, seeing some pocket listings, seeing some of that, that's one thing. Maybe put a toe in the water here, but it really depends. The reason that we might say, hey, let's wait a little bit, all becomes is we just want to be careful about miseducation. Okay, so a ton of great stuff. I think the long story short, finding your agent, putting together your team, and setting your strategy for the new year. That's the best things that somebody can be doing right now.